Sup guys, Stan Kosh here. Today we will be taking a look at OKU, our new wilder tank strength-based hero. Alright, so I wasn't expecting that much because we're getting all those awakened heroes right now, and I was thinking that we will get something not that good, but honestly guys, that's a fantastic tank. So let's go take a look at him and I'll explain you why he's that good. So alright, as I said already, he is a wilder strength-based tank hero for protection, fortitude, all that. Really tanky, but at the same time he can do quite a lot of crowd control, AoE damage, and he is really tanky. Let's take a look at his skills first. So right, this time we won't start with an ultimate skill, we'll start with Vengeful Grievance. Every time OKU is attacked, he receives Thorned Volition, that's important, which has a value equal to 90% of the enemy's attack power and which is unaffected by any damage reduction effects. OKU's Thorned Volition can reach a max value of 110% of his max health. Thorned Volition will naturally lose 10% of its value every second. Its value can be expanded by other skills, increasing skill damage by a value equal to the amount of Thorned Volition expanded. When actively used, OKU deals damage equal to 280% of his attack rating to nearby enemies, also taunting them for 4 seconds, during which time he receives 40% less damage. So, what does it mean? He have special effect, special resource, let's put it like that, that's called Thorned Volition, that is being received when he is being attacked. So this is something like a rage. We have a tower in here with the rage mechanics, basically. But the rage mechanics here doesn't have 100 value like in World of Warcraft. Here it have value of attack power of enemy that's being added to the pool, and it cannot reach more than 110% of his max health. But at level 2, the taunt will be for 6 seconds instead of 4. At level 3, you can get 120% instead of 90% from the enemy attack, and the maximum volition will be 130% of his max health. And at level 4, when actively used, that will be 6 seconds taunt and 60% less damage during that time. That's insane. So how does it work? Let me try to explain you with the normal language. When he's being hit, he accumulates the enemy's attack value as his power to retaliate and boost other skills, which can be maximized as 110%, 130% of his health. So that's all you need to know about Vengeful Grievance, and that he can taunt enemies. Finally, a tank that can taunt. Fantastic. Now let's go to the ultimate. Trembling Mountain. OKU delivers a powerful blow to the enemy before him, knocking them back towards the edge of the battlefield, dealing damage equal to 360%, which will be 400% of his attack rating to the enemy, also stunning them for 5 seconds. A lot of stuns. Do you see that already? A lot of stuns and taunts. When used against an enemy that had a shield or who is immune to control effects, the damage is increased by 75%, by 100% at level 3. If the skill Vengeful Grievance is unlocked, 18% of OKU's Thorned Volition is expanded and dealt as additional damage to the target. So how does it work? Again, with the Volition mechanics. Basically, that's a strong attack that push enemy away, pretty easy, stunning them for 5 seconds. And if you have the Volition thing, you will spend 80% of that as a damage on the enemy. Pretty easy and straightforward when you put it like that, I guess, but wording can be different. Now, Beetle Bash. OKU uses his Beetle Companion to initiate multiple attacks, dealing 230% of his attack rating, that will be 250% of his attack rating at level 2, per attack to the enemy, also reducing their tenacity by 15 points for 6 seconds. So more crowd control skills are going through to the enemy after this. If the skill Vengeful Grievance is unlocked, which is the case for us, 10% of his volition is expanded and dealt as additional damage to the target. So some of that pooled rage will go through to the attack damage here. At level 3, enemy's tenacity is reduced by 20 points for 6 seconds, and at level 4, which is engraving 30, if OKU is stunned, terrified, or prevented from healing within a span of 15 seconds, OKU's attack will inflict the same negative effects on the attacker for 2.5 seconds, which is pretty cool. You can mirror enemies' crowd control effects to the enemy. And the last skill, Besieging Fist. OKU delivers a powerful blow to the enemy before him, dealing 300% of his attack rating as a damage to them, knocking them to the ground. If the skill Vengeful Grievance is unlocked, 15% of OKU's Thorn Volition is expanded and dealt as additional damage to the target. At level 2, he will also immediately receive Thorn Volition with a value of 25% of his max health, so that's like about 20% of the volition pool, and the damage is increased to 330%. Now at level 4, which is engraving 60, that skill will also remove enemies' shields and buff, which is insanely powerful, so shielded enemies will suffer and buffs will be removed. That's really crazy. And this is another skill that will put enemy to the ground. So this one have crowd control, this one have crowd control, this one have crowd control, and this one will mirror the crowd control back to the enemy, and it will debuff enemies to get more crowd control. So that's a really crowd control beast right here. Now let's take a look at the signature item. Chitinous Shield. 20% of OKU's Thorn Volition that is expanded due to him actively using skills is converted into health for himself, so he will get that percentage that he used there as a health. That's already pretty crazy by default, but plus 10, 40% of his Thorn Volition is expanded, will be converted into health, so that's not 20 but 40 already. That's already pretty cool. At plus 20, the speed at which Thorn Volition is naturally lost is reduced by 50%, so that will be 5% per second, and the portion of the Thorn Volition that is lost is converted into health for OKU as well, so that's a passive life regenerate here. At plus 30, 40% of OKU's Thorn Volition that is expanded due to him actively using skills is gradually replenished over the following 4 seconds. So for this one, I'm not sure if it's changing this plus 10 skill, so plus 40 of that will be converted straight away, and at plus 30 it will be converted gradually over 4 seconds, or that's 40 straight away and then 40 over 4 seconds. I'm not sure about that, but in any case, that's a lot of healing for the OKU. That's crazy amount of healing. So even if it's just 40%, that means that every of those skills will get, like this will give you about 9%, 8% of his health, full HP back. This will give him, that won't give him anything, he won't expand anything here. That is 7% here, that's 5% of his health here, so that's a lot of passive life regen right here. Now, the furniture. 3 pieces. The amount of Thorn Volition OKU gains through any means is increased by 30%. Really cool. More rage, better, right? 9 pieces. Every time OKU receives Thorn Volition equal to 20% of his max health, any damage he received is permanently reduced by 5%, and damage reduction can be increased to a total of 25%. How do you like that? Over the duration of the fight, he will get the damage immunity to 25%, then when he will taunt the enemy, he will also get the 60% damage reduction. That's a really cool for a tank. Probably we get a really good tank here, right? On the paper. So guys, the only drawback that I can see at him right now, that he needs time to build up his defense with the 9 signature item and everything, and he needs to use the taunt in order not to be one-shotted in the late game, but we need to test it in the high deficit in order to figure that out, but we can't do that here on the test server. But what we can do, we can go into the Arena of Trials and check him out in the in all those fights in the campaign and see his skills here on the wooden dummy. So let's take a look how he looks like. There we go, going in, attacking, there we go, that's Volition being added. There is a Volition bar, so he have the 3rd bar down beyond him, which is the Volition. That's pretty cool. Alright. That's the ultimate. I can see if the enemies are being hit away or not, because they're being one-shotted. There we go, attack, yeah, they're being thrown all the way to the back, so that might be a good opportunity to use him with the crank, for example, to throw the enemies into the mines, into the bombs. Other than that, he looks pretty dope. Over here, he doesn't give a hell about the enemy. Since all that Volition will go back to him as health, he won't die here, so this testing is way too weak in order to see his skills. Let's just try to see how the skills look like. That's an ultimate, obviously. This is the 2nd skill. This is the Beetle Bash, triple attack, and the Fist attack. I think that one was normal attack. Alright, so now we know how his skills look like. Let's test him out in some of those fights. Hint, when I tested him out on one of the accounts, he was extremely powerful, so I don't know, I was surprised how strong he is. He didn't took that much damage. He was tanking here, and he was the last one to die in the fight. So let's try this team. and see how he will do in his Wilder team. There we go, he goes, oh my god. Yeah, I'll try together with him destroy the enemy in the back instantly. We'll win it. Pipa using the magic, and his volition bar is filling up, so now his attack should be more powerful. Lucius is blocking us with the shield. He should be able to destroy the shield though with his fist attack. I wanna see that. Damn, the shield is destroyed. I don't know whether it was the volition or the normal attack. Alright, he is full on his anger and all the enemies are alive and he's the last man standing. Let's see how tough he is, how tanky he is. If he will be able to beat that, that will be really fun. Ultimate, bam. With the Lucius in here and the stance, it might be problematic for him to take out the enemies, but take a look at his survivability. Okay, he's dead. Take a look at his survivability and he is dead. Let's try something like this. I'm really curious to see how the enemies will behave in this pool push team, basically. Yeah, I heard he's really good in 5 pool. The enemies are pulled. Let's see how he will taunt them up and nobody should die after this. He should take the damage. Aaron still got killed. Ultimate, bam. Most of his attacks are single target though, so that's pretty sad. Look at him, he's really tough. So as a tank, I say that's a good option because he is the last man standing, fighting 3 enemies and pretty successful at that. Graveborns, I'm curious how he will be against Graveborns with the second tank and some Wilders on his side, like fully Wilder team. In the Wilder tower, I think he will be one of the best tanks. Mishka and him together are like really good duo tanks, I think. Astar might be a good addition to the team. So let's see how it will go. Damn, those knockdowns took Odin away instantly. Isabella's ultimate, alright, that might end us or not, depends. Yeah, that ended most of our guys. We got Lors and Oku and Astar alive. He is actually doing really good in terms of self-sustain. Honestly, like that's really good. Let's test his damage capabilities with this team against Maulers. That will be interesting to see. Now we can increase the speed when we know how they work a little bit on 2x speed, so we can actually check out. I've seen other reviews, kinda check them out, and they say that he can be a good carry. I don't agree. He can do good damage, true. He can be strong, but overall, specifically in the late game, like in this fight, he managed to do decent damage. Yeah, but I started better. So overall, I don't think that he can be the one who will be your carry or something. He have good self-sustain. He is a good tank that doesn't need the healing, that's for sure. But as someone who wanna go through the game and if the question is, do you want to summon him? Do you want to put him in the wish list right now for the Wilders? I will say no, because there are a lot of heroes that are Wilders and are more required right now. So you can get Raku, for example, that's the Defo. Go to Gaisaurus will be useful. And like, yeah, if you have the spare resources, probably yes, just for fun. But I'm not sure if he will fit the meta team in any way. He's a good tank, but on the late game he might be not that good because the scaling won't be good. He is really reliant on that build-up stage of his damage and damage resistance as well. The last man standing, nice. I wonder how much damage he can do here. Yeah, he still is not good here, even as the last guy standing. So yeah, he can actually be pretty good. He can build up the damage resistance, but in order to do that, he have to be alive for like 10 seconds, get all those attacks in and take the damage, recover that, so it's like 20 seconds into the fight, and by the time he can be one-shotted. Late game, he will be easily killed. Although on the guild trials, we saw that he can do pretty good. He can be pretty tough with the proper guards, with the proper defense. That might be okay. Over here, like, we decimated the enemy in seconds, so... But his damage wasn't that great either, so he can be used as your damage dealer, that's for sure. He is a tank, obviously, and some crowd control. Alright, now, let's take this guy, take him and test him in the campaign on our test server. Let's see how good that will be. Oh, wait, that's not the test server, that's my main server. Let's test him on the main server as well. How far I am? I'm not that far, I'm like average in terms of the progression. Pretty cool. We got 45 engraving on him. That's unexpected. That's really cool. Damn, I like testing heroes on the global, on the main account. He have really good gear here, everything is set up and you're ready to go. That's pretty dope. Alright, let's test him out in all of our teams that we have right now. So alright, the first one is the Flora stage. I will use Ein's team for this, and probably there is no point putting him here because he will just be defending Ein's, and as it is, it doesn't matter. The Ein's can defeat anyone he wants by himself. Bam, bam, easy. So you don't really need him in the Ein's team, and he doesn't fit the team as well. For this team, with Mihira, the Charm team, he might be good here. I don't really think so. So if we're trying to fit him in the meta team, he won't fit in my opinion. So like, where do you want to put him here? For example, instead of Diamond. So he will give us more protection against the enemy. Let's see how it will go. Because we will need the taunt here for sure to keep Mihira alive and let her do her ultimates. Mihira somehow died. That was weird. But Raku managed to... He can be good synergy with Raku with all his stuns. I haven't thought of that. I don't know why Raku is in my Mihira team, but with his stuns, he might be a good team up with Raku because all of his skills are stuns basically. For the rest of the team, this is just a random team that I have, so let me finish this and go to the normal stages where we can find different team combinations. So alright, normal chapters. The enemies are a little bit stronger than we are, like 50% more, so we can try to get different teams here to test our OKU guy. So let's try the 5 pool first. Lucretia will be really OP, she will take out anyone, even without the 5 pool, she's really strong. Granite, let's put Granite in as well, so that will be curious. That's like the 5 pool of the future. If he will be able to taunt them for long enough and don't die, yeah, Lucretia just one shot at the enemies, oh my god, that was crazy. He did pretty good, decent damage here, the same as Lucretia, so maybe in some situations he might be good. Then Raku team, we need some crowd control and Raku to see how that will work. Let's try something like this, I don't know if it will work. My Raku team isn't that ready yet. Mishka going in with the stun, bam, nice. Raku is using what he can, then Rowan with an ultimate, Raku with an ultimate just because he can. That should work pretty well as well. I'm not sure how he will fit in this team though, in terms of the damage. But it seems that most enemies are destroyed. We got Cecilia left, being annoying. Let's go manual, so Raku won't be using his ultimate. There is no need. He did insane damage on Cecilia here, just to shot at him. So the damage output of him in this situation isn't that crazy again. So yeah, in terms of the survivability though, that was pretty dope, and the amount of stuns supplement him in the Raku team. So if you need a tank in the Raku team, he might be your go-to guy. What else we can think of? How we can use him as well? He might be useful in the Cursed Realm where we have the single enemy target because he can do all those stunts and everything on him. I'm not sure about that. We have Kane right now, so we can't really test it. But I think that's the direction this guy will be taking. Something like Twisted Realm, occasional tank. Probably not the main team, because once again, he doesn't have immunity and most likely his stunts are good. His tenacity debuff is good, but something seems to be lacking here. I'm not entirely sure that he can fit any of the meta teams. But once again, we have the heroes that are not used for a long time, coming back to some boss teams, some Twisted Realm and that, so you don't really know who will be useful in the long run or not. At some point Gradual was useless and now he's useful everywhere, so you know. As for the relics for that guy, I think something like the Barricade will fit him the most. That will allow him to get a huge HP boost. That's already very important because that will improve the amount of his that rage basically thingy that scales from his health, and that will help him to protect the allies, so that's pretty good. Wingspan of Resilience probably not that good. Life's Limit, yeah, probably the Barricade will be the best because that will help him to protect the allies that he has, so probably that's a go-to for him. As for the other artifacts, like the basic ones, I'm not sure that those will help him as well, because that HP bonus is a really good, guys. That's really nice. You don't have that HP bonus anywhere else, so that will help him a lot to be stronger. So yeah, I think that's all I want to tell you guys now about OKU, and I want to hear your opinion. What do you think about this guy? Does he fit any teams? Is he useful somewhere outside of Wilder Tower? Do you want to build him? My advice wouldn't be building him right now. He is not top priority for sure. You have other heroes that are really required right now, like Scarlet, for example. She is a game changer. She will increase your boss damage so much and boost your progression in all the modes, so why the hell not? If you have the spare resources to spare, you might think about that, but at the moment I'm not sure. On paper he was really good. In the testing he feels like it, and moreover in the high-end area it seems that he is missing a little bit of survivability as a tank, who is basically a mid-shield. So he have self-sustained life regen, and that won't scale that well on the high deficit. And yeah guys, other than that, don't forget to check the pinned comment and video description for the links. We have a lot of stuff over there. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you very much for watching, guys. That's about it for now. Stand Kosh out. До свидания.